few weeks ago, Anthony of Kamikaze Customs announced a wagon build in the Custom Diecast Renegades and Hoodlums group on Facebook. I had this Hot Wheels Redline Alive 55 casting, obviously well loved. And this one seemed like the perfect one to do for this build. I love these Nomads. Anthony loves these Nomads, and the date he chose for this is his birthday. So I thought, well, what's more appropriate than to build something that he likes? So I chose this one. Recently I had done a Nomad Bone Shaker mashup, and I enjoyed doing that, so I thought, well, let me do this one too. So I had some ideas. Fortunately, you'll see me taking it apart, going through the usual processes here. But fortunately, I had an extra casting of this because, well, this one, you couldn't really tell in that original picture. The casting itself is in pretty good shape other than missing the front wheels. Other than that, and the glass is cracked up on the top. So fortunately, having done recently that other one, I had an extra glass piece on it. I actually had a couple extra castings. So I had a piece to replace that glass with. So that saved me from having to track down another piece of glass. I decided I wasn't going to keep this a red line. Front wheels are missing, and I didn't have anything to really walk it back to being a red line without going through a lot of trouble. And I wanted to try a different set of wheels, ones I'd picked up recently. I cleaned up the casting a little bit. There was an odd little extra chunk of metal in that opening on the top. I don't know if that's common on these. I hadn't seen it on the others that I have. But this one I had to clean up there and got rid of. I didn't go too extreme. I wanted to keep it kind of simple. I cleaned it up a little bit. It obviously has a metal base. And I didn't paint the metal base. I wanted to just shine it up. And that's what I ended up doing. I just polished up the base. I did paint a few details on it, but I kept it really stock. Didn't want to get too carried away. So go through the usual cleaning up process. I'm certain it comes as a surprise to no one that I used Tester's Lime Ice once again. I love the color, I'm sorry. It looks great on these cars. And I went with that Minwax fast drying polyurethane again. That's been working out great for me. Something I didn't get footage of, but there's the other casting I took the glass off of, by the way. I didn't get footage of the molding strip that I put on the sides of the car. Rather than trying to paint it silver, I ended up cutting extremely thin strips of bare metal foil. And I've used that before. You've seen it in earlier videos where it's adhesive on one side. It's a super thin, thickness-wise foil that you can then simulate metal on these. I cut using a sharp X-Acto knife, really sharp X-Acto knife. New blade. I cut an extremely thin slice of the bare metal foil and laid that down on each side of the car. And you'll see that in the finished product. It worked out really well. It was easier to cut that straight and then stick it on there than it would have been for me to paint or even scrape off those areas of paint to get the metal to show through. Because for whatever reason, I don't know if it was worn down on the original casting, if I wore it down when I was working on the casting or what. But the side metal molding strips aren't that high. I know I can't paint them that straight with that sharp of a line. Or the bare metal foil, I thought, let me give it a try. And you'll see the result. I'm really happy with it. And then, when you coat it with the clear coat at the end, it blends it all in. So it's a new option to try for me on these. And there's another build coming up, actually the same weekend that this is going to be coming out. This is coming out on a Friday. And then on Saturday is the 3 Blind Mice build. And I use bare metal foil on that in a totally different way. Oddly enough, as masking tape, but you'll see that. That's a teaser for that video. So I had to polish up the glass like you see here. Flitz works fantastically for that. And then it's gauzy time. Yep, it's happy gauzy time. So you may have noticed that case that I put it in. I just put that piece of tape down on the bottom so that it drains off finally onto that. I just keep that tape there. I haven't even changed it out after other builds. It just, you can use it then to lift, and then it releases the glass a little easier if it's stuck down. And you just push it back down, and you're ready to go on the next build. But, yeah, good old gauzy. For those of you taking a shot every time the word gauzy is said, there you go. So there's the wheels I tried on this one. They're from Scuderia 73. Anyhow, they're nice wheels, but they're weird in that the axle itself is just straight. There's no ends to it. And then you use super glue to glue the end caps on it. I filed down the little nubs on the back that they had on these. And, I filed down the nubs on the metal base because I wanted those wheels in as close as I could get them. But these, I'm not sure if I like them or not. I like the wheels, but the way the axles work, maybe I'm just too old and fumbly. It was tough for me to put the end caps on, so they work. They don't roll super well the way I ended up doing them. Maybe the next time they'll work better. They spin. They do turn. It's not like they're locked up or anything, but they just don't freely spin. So, and you'll see in a second when I try and roll this. Anyhow, the metal base did have just one post. So it just hooks in on the back, and then you throw the screw in there, and you're ready to rock and roll. So as far as detail on this, I did do the headlights. I did the taillights. There you see I did the grill. It has the pop-up hood. I did not detail the engine inside. There you can kind of see the molding strips. See the wheels turn? Yeah, they don't spin, but they turn. So here, watch it roll. Yeah. It's almost like a power slide. Anyhow, here's where we started off. One little beat to hell red line. And God, somebody loved that car. Half the paint was removed for me already. Saved me half the effort. Even half the wheels were gone. So that's where we started. Here's where we ended up. Lime ice, rubber wheels, rubber tires, a little more detail. The roof on that, in case you're curious, is hand painted. brush painted. Tester's acrylic black paint. You know, the little tiny bottles like we had when I was a kid. I don't know that they were acrylic when I was a kid, but they were probably enamel thinking about it. But used the acrylic, brushed it. There we have it. Lime ice. Shocker, I know. Really happy with the clear coat. Highly recommend that Minwax polyurethane. It's working out fantastically. I also recommend trying that bare metal foil. I really like what it did for the molding strips on the side. The only thing was when you cut it, the first time I tried cutting it super thin, it curled up on me. So anyhow, just word of warning, if you go to try it, the base is just polished on that. So hope you like it. Anthony, thank you for doing this wagon build. This has been fun. I'm really happy to participate in it. And I know you set this event where it's occurring on your birthday, so happy birthday as well. Hope you have a good one. Hope you enjoy all the builds everybody does on this day. I think there's, 20-some builds or something like that. So everybody out there, thanks for watching. Check out Anthony's page. I'll put a link to it down below, Kamikaze Customs. And catch you in the next one. Everybody stay safe and healthy out there. Thanks for watching.